So in the noughties, BMW created the E30. Special editions include the 325 IS, the 333 in South Africa, and then you had the E30 M3 for the Europeans. But these body kits that were put onto these cars, what they had was side skirts, a front chin lip, some plastic here and there, and then a boot spoiler. Then there were companies like Reiger, as well as Zender, who took the body kit to the next level. And they made it wide, and they made it broad, and they gave it some appearance. So what I'm sitting in right now is the cousin to the E30 M3, who's been hitting the gym a little bit harder, and is a little bit more buff. He has more flares, and certainly knows how to rock a good party. So let me take you through this build that we did. And you tell me, and you let me know in the comment section what you think about it. So what we have here is a wide body E30. Originally started its life off as a 323 BMW. What has happened here was that this company, Zender, created this body kit for this car which required the removal of body panels to give it its wide appearance. So what RWB is to the 964 Porsche, Zender was that to the E30. When somebody envisions a build, there's always a sense of uniqueness that they should apply to a build. In today's day and age, I have seen more ISs for sale than I think the factory actually built. Or there's been more 333s built, and I'm sure there's a multitude of production lines running in every neighborhood or in every industrial park. That's how common these cars have become. But what's not common are these wide, flared archer E30s. And this is no exception to this particular car. So Zender created this kit, and somebody back in, I think, early 2000 made a fiberglass copy of these kits. So what you see here is the front fender from the Zender body kit. Now it integrates very seamlessly into the side of the car. So if you look at the side of the car, it's all one piece. And when I refer to one piece, this body panel goes all the way down, comes onto the side sill, and connects to the rear quarter panel. Now many people mistaken this for the M3. No, it is clearly not the E30 M3 body kit. And in a later video, I'll show you guys the difference between a wide body E30 and an E30 M3. But in a nutshell, the E30 M3 is a lot square. It doesn't come down like this. It comes down more like that and down. So it's more boxy. In terms of the fender, the total width that it extends the fender out by is about 5 centimeters. So it's about so much. So from stock, this wide body is 5 centimeters more outwards. Allows you to run at least an 8.5 or 9J tire. This particular build had a complete respray on the car. We fixed up some of the imperfections on the bodywork. So fiberglass is a very porous material. When you don't leave the primer to cure for a very long time, what happens is you get this pinholes in the body paint. So unfortunately, we did encounter some. So as you go through this video, you'll see some black marks. These are touch-ups that I still need to do. We eliminate the beading from the 323. It has like a black beading that runs across from that panel, goes across here, and it comes here. We add this molding to the door, and we close the hole, and it extends to the side. So the molding on the rear quarter panel and the molding on the front panel is integrated into those panels. Only this panel is a separate panel, which we need to align with the body kit. As mentioned before, the side sill integrates, so you can see it's one piece all the way down, one piece. Then coming to the rear, the boot remains the same. We did nothing there. We replaced with brand new badges at the back. We polished up the tail lights. The only difference between the Zender and this particular car is that we included an OEM style E30 M3 front bumper and E30 M3 rear bumper. So that's the difference between the two, and they both posed their own challenges because this body kit is wider than an E30 M3. So we need to split the bumper in half, move it out so it can come to as close as possible to the side arch, and then close it up and seal it again. The same would apply on the driver's side, exactly the same. Where the magic happens in this particular car is that apart from it being a wide body, it has elements of uniqueness. So now let's take a look inside the boot. This is my first boot install on any build that I've done, and I'm pretty chuffed about it. So now every time I open up the boot, it's like a rave party in here. With the subwoofer, the strobe lights, and a faint scent of regret. Because the sound in this car has a louder personality than the owner. But it's pretty practical. It has space for the spare wheel. The battery compartment is hidden away, so you can see the battery down there. The subwoofer is tucked underneath. The carpet matches the interior. The amplifiers are tucked away nicely on the side. The upper compartment for the tool shelf matches the deco at the bottom. The rear parcel shelf matches the interior as well as the boot. So it all complements itself into one elegant product that's usable, practical, can fit a set of golf clubs. If need be, maybe a midget can fit in there. However, it's what entails practicality, usability, and functionality. In the front of the car, again, we removed the Zender front bumper. So the Zender front bumper is a three-piece bumper. It has this part that covers the valence. It has a separate part for the bottom, and it has its own type of chin lip. What we did on this particular car was, this is a narrow body E30 M3 replica plastic bumper, which we integrated into the body kit. So again, we needed to cut it in half, extend it out, and then plastic weld the center as if it was never there. We replaced the indicators with new indicators. We did new headlamps. We need new grills. So from the front, aesthetically, it's absolutely pleasing. Then, while we have the exhaust, we custom made a complete new exhaust. So if I take this out, we'll have a look, and you'll see what we've done is, because the branches are custom made, this is not symmetrical, but it's meant for this particular car, so it cannot be integrated. We did an X pipe just below the merge. So where these two merge, we did an X pipe there. So what this created, it creates turbulence, so that this turbulence gives you that rumble, and you know, the deep exhaust note goes through two mufflers just to reduce the drone, comes out, and we have a third muffler just before the exhaust tip. So this is full stainless steel exhaust. Sounds absolutely amazing. The tone of it, there's a dyno video on, I think it's on my TikTok. Have a look there and you'll hear how it sounds. The engine initially was an M20 turbocharged engine. Now we wanted an engaging experience in terms of the motor. So what we did was we acquired a complete 528 E39 and we took the motor from there. So the motor in here is an M52 528, so it's a 2.8 liter, and it's a single Vanos. When we connected it up, We had everything running, including the Vanos. So I'm gonna overlay a picture of how the engine bay looks, and I'll walk you through it. In terms of the brake booster, we changed was an E90 brake booster. You'll see the M52 motor on the inside, custom aluminium radiator to accommodate it, and everything else that's needed to be there. On the right hand side of the motor, it initially had a turbocharged system, so there was no water bottle, there was no aircon system. Everything was deleted on that side. There was wells all over the place, so we needed to close the wells up. Now, the reason we needed to do this here was because we were returning the car back to its original form. So we added the water bottles, we added a new aircon system, we added the dryer for the aircon, we added the condenser, we added a fan. All of this stuff was not there on the car, and this posed its own challenges in its own particular way. On the right hand side, we changed the water bottle to a brand new water bottle, just so that it's aesthetically pleasing in the eye. We wire tucked the motor so you see no wires, so everything in the motor is absolutely clean. We did new foam pads underneath, and I mean, there's nothing more in terms of the engine that I can tell you that we did not touch. So now back to where we began. The interior of this car is absolutely comfortable. It is plush, extremely plush. We went with a distressed leather on the inside of the car. And the interior of this car is potentially worth as much as, I would say, a 325. That's how expensive the inside is. But it's to the point. The interior of a car is where you spend the most amount of time in. It's where your touch and your feel aspects come together and forms the holistic experience of driving a retro mod car, i.e. newer engine, older chassis, newer drivetrain, a retro car. The touch feel aspect of the car is insane. We have this OEM wooden grain steering. We have this wooden grain classic gear knob. We have the distressed leather from a cow that only ate organic grass. Let me tell you about the carpet. And the carpets come from an organic field where sheep are farmed merely for the production of E30 carpets. The carpets come from Australia. We imported these carpets from Australia. They are plush. But the more important aspect is that when you're doing an interior, and when guys do the carpet, they cannot get the footprint where your foot resides, and it's very difficult for people to do it locally. But if you see that part there, okay, you can't really check, there's a bit of a shadow there, but that forms part of the carpet, so it almost makes it look OEM. We redid the dashboard to make it look new. We did the buttons. We tried to source good quality buttons that still had the imprints and the writings. Again, I reiterate, we redid the entire aircon system. This computer box here works. We did a radio that has Bluetooth, connects to Apple CarPlay. It's called a Pioneer Smart Radio. We customized the clocks. So if you have a look at the clocks firstly goes to 260. On that side there it revs to 9,000. We did a metal overlay on the as in like an insert. We did the gauges in a custom gray color. We kind of replicated the rev gauge or the rev shift lights from an E46 M3 over on that side. So that's all custom. The door cards, we kept the granular lining that comes from the original E30s. We did a saddle stitch on these handles, a thicker saddle stitch here, so you'll see this stitch is smaller, this stitch is a bit more saddle, makes gripping and holding and the touch aspects absolutely wonderful. And then one of my favorite parts is that when you enter the car, we included the BMW M Technique dorsals. And yeah, enjoyed this particular intro. And you're most probably wondering why the exhaust is out. I have an issue with fourth gear grinding, so I'm busy checking that out. And also why I couldn't show you the engine bay at the moment is because I'm busy working on the engine bay. I'm redoing the valve stem seals, but I'll give you a quick glimpse at it in its current state, even though I overlaid a neat picture for you. Yeah, busy doing. So hopefully this is inspiration for you guys on your next project, that you don't follow the masses and slap on an IS kit, slap on a 333 kit. Go out there, love it and love it. Go out there and build your dream. And if I can tell you what's going through my head right now is an LTO body kit on my next E30. For those of you that don't know, you can Google it, or I'll put a picture up. It's called Love to Offend. Oh, I really want to do this body kit. Till the next video.